Okay, so next up is the heart bouquet. And I'm just going to briefly talk about the decorative hearts that are going to go on top of the skewers. And I don't need to go through and show you how each of the skewers goes together, but I will briefly show you how the hearts layer together. So in this case, this one, it's 3 pieces for each side because you can see the heart from both sides. And I have them laid out exactly how you need to glue them here in my hand. So you've got 3 layers, you've got the base layer, the glitter layer, and then another layer on top. So you're going to glue these together like so. You're going to do the same thing with this one. Okay, so you have 2 of these. We'll put those aside. Now this heart flower, I guess you can call it, is 3 layers as well. You're going to glue this layer like that on top of the white, and then glue that to the pink. You can do that twice for both sides. And again, got this little heart flower here. It's going to get glued like so, both sides. Okay, put that aside. This one here, we've got this orangey color, this peach color, and a white color. You're going to get glued just like that. You're going to do that twice. You've got this one here. This one is 2 layers. Okay, you're going to glue those together just like so. You're going to do that twice. And then again, we've got this flower here, 3 layers. They're going to go together just like that. You're going to do that twice. And finally, this small little heart, 3 layers, one on top of the other, on top of this silver foil. Okay, so you get all your hearts together. Now we can talk about, well, actually, there's still one more heart. Let me show you this heart here. This is the main heart that goes in the center. If you want it to go in the center, it's probably a good place for it. And this one actually, in this video here, we have these 4 slits here. Yours are not going to look like that. We've actually improved this so that placing the gift cards is a lot easier. Yours are going to have notches cut out here so that the gift card slides in better. It also gives you more room to put glue so that this thing really sticks. So that is going to get glued like so. Okay, you can do that twice. We'll put that aside. And next we can discuss the actual base of the vase. The base of the vase. Okay, so let me go ahead and grab these pieces here. Now what we have is these two pieces. These 2 pieces are actually a little reinforcement / foundation piece that's going to go inside of the main box. Okay, now the main box for the base is comprised of these 2 pieces. And what we're going to do is we're going to fold these like so. Okay, and we've got little tabs here. We're going to bend those over just like that. Okay, now you want to just be careful with this one because this is the one that everyone's going to see. So what I'm going to begin by doing is I'm going to place glue on these smaller tabs here. Okay, just a nice little dot of glue there. And make sure you bend that over real good so that you get a nice 90-degree angle. Okay, and glue that into place and press and hold it while it dries. You're going to repeat that process 3 more times all the way around the base of the vase. Okay, so we've got the sides glued together. Now I'm just going to fold these tabs over. Probably should have done that beforehand, but it's not a big deal. One of my tabs came loose because I didn't put enough glue on it and I wasn't patient enough and didn't give it a chance to dry. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'll let that dry. Okay, I'm going to fold these tabs over just to get them ready. And then we're going to move over to that little structural piece so we can build that real quick. It's basically the same exact thing that we just did with that other piece, except it's a little bit smaller and barely shorter, just so that it fits nice and snug inside. Okay, so just bend all this stuff over. Okay, and again, you're just gonna put glue on these little tabs and connect the edges to form the base. Okay, now I'm actually going to just kind of fast forward here. I already showed you how that other one went together, so I'm not going to do that. But once you have it built like this, okay, what you're going to do is you're going to place glue on these tabs here. And no one's going to see this piece, so if you've had a glass of wine or something and you want to begin this project, but you're not planning on finishing it, this is the piece to start with in case you get sloppy. And you just put that last piece on there, let that hold for a minute while it dries. Okay, so then you're going to place some glue on this thing here, on this piece here, and just center that inside of the base. Okay, so that's not only going to provide additional support for the actual vase, but it's going to make this, gluing this piece, a lot easier. Okay, so once you have that little support piece inside there, what you're going to do is place glue on these tabs here, and then we're going to take this top piece and just pop it right on top. And you might need to squish or push the little edges in just to make sure that you've got a nice flush base. Okay, and that little support piece there in the center is going to make it so that when you push this down, you can actually, you won't dent it too much. Okay, so give that just a minute to hold. Okay, and there is your base. And now what you can do is you can take this decorative panel and just glue it right on there. Now you'll notice on this piece are some very subtle score lines, and that's going to help you to place the actual vase on the base. Okay, so you don't, probably not seeing it very well here on camera, but it is there. So we've got the base assembled. Let's go ahead and begin with the assembly of the actual vase. So here are the pieces for the vase. Now these white pieces are liners, okay, and that's the liner for the bottom. Then we've got the sides. Okay, this is the actual bottom. This is the actual side, as is this. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take these side pieces, we're going to fold these tabs over. Okay, and what we can do, and first thing we're going to do actually is we're going to glue the sides to the base of the actual vase here. So I'm going to take this square and just put it right next to this strip here and get some glue and just glue that down. Okay, we're going to push and hold that down, make sure that it gets a good grip. And we're going to grab the other piece and do the same exact thing. I'm going to fold this tab over just to help me with the alignment. The edge of this square should be nice and flush with the little score lines that are right here. Make sure you got a good, nice 90-degree angle there. And then go ahead and place your glue on this tab here. You might need to just nudge it back into place, just like that, and just push that over. Okay, so we're getting the two sides of the vase connected to the bottom of the vase. Okay, so the next step is taking your actual decorative piece. This is going to be cut out of pattern paper. I mean, you can make it out of cardstock, but this is the floral pattern piece that we have on our demo unit. And I'm going to just glue this down to the base, just making sure that I've got everything nice and lined up with this square here. Okay, you want to center that. I'm going to do the same thing with the other piece. Okay, and I'm going to put some glue on this guy here and get him into place and just glue that down. And kind of flip it over just to make sure that you got your alignment right and everything's nice and in place. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take these two liner pieces and we're going to actually use them to help form the structure of the vase. Now as you can see here in my video, I kind of went out of sequence, and that's my fault. You don't want to do what I did. We're going to leave these two pieces alone, and what we're going to do is we're going to put glue on these tabs, and we're going to take this liner piece, okay, and kind of want to put this on its side now, like so. Take this liner piece and just begin shaping the vase. Now I would start at the bottom just to make sure that You've got it in place at the bottom, and then work your way up. And you can just push the side of this into place just to make sure that you've got it lined up properly. It's good if you got a nice flat surface to work on. And just work those edges together just to make sure that, and what I'm doing is I'm pushing out from this side here to get that alignment. Okay, so that is what it should look like. And you're going to repeat that process on the other side, like so. Okay, and you're going to do the same thing with the other liner piece on this side until you've got the basic structure of it together. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I'll be back in just 1 second. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and take the opposite side here and add my glue. Get my glue right in there. And then fold that over. I'm going to move that other piece out of the way so I don't get glue on it. And I'm going to just kind of jimmy that in there and just push down. And as I'm pushing down, I'm pushing in on these sides here to get that natural curve that we've created. Okay, just make sure that you're just holding it down and giving it a good chance to get a grip. Okay, and you'll see how easily this thing goes together. Okay, so that is pretty much it when it comes to that. And let's take a look here. So that's what it should look like. And then the beautiful part is you can just take this and add glue along this tab here. And then on the inside, just be real gentle. You don't want to cake it too much because it has a tendency to warp if you get too much glue on there. Okay, also on this tab here. And you can close it up. Probably put it flat on your surface here and just make sure that you might have to move things around a little bit just to get that perfect placement. Okay, and then just push down and make sure that it gets a really good hold. The other side is actually going to be even easier to put together because you've got the basic foundation for this thing already in place. So I'm going to, as I'm waiting for this to dry, I'm going to push these tabs down and get them ready. So there's your vase. As you can see, nice, perfect edges. And what I'm going to do then is this is how we're going to glue it. We're going to take this other liner and stick it in there. Make sure that it hits the bottom. Then we're going to take these edges. I'm going to fold this out of the way so we don't get any glue on it. And I'm just going to put glue on all these tabs. And I'll show you that here in just 1 second. Let me just get them on here. It's kind of hard to show you and for me to be accurate and precise with the glue while I'm doing that. So let me just do that real quick and then I'll show you. So we've got glue on all the tabs there, okay? And I'm gonna take my liner and just kind of pop it in there and then let it drop and then push the sides in as I'm pushing the liner down and stick your hand in there. Might need to get your head down there so you can actually see what's going on. And just push along the sides and just push that down. Make sure that those tabs get a good hold. Okay, it's starting to really take shape here. It's looking really good. Give it an extra second to dry. Flip it over. And then just like we did on the other side, I'm going to put glue on these tabs. And then along the base here, along the top, and all along the inside here. Okay, you can close it up, put it back on its side, and just make sure you run your fingers along the edge here on both sides, that you're not feeling it pop out, and that way you know you have it exactly where you need it to be. And there it is. Came out really good actually, very accurate. So at this point we can take this white liner piece and just pop some glue on it, drop it right in there, and just push down and let it hold. Okay, so now that we have the actual structure of the vase put together, what we're going to do is put these little liners on here. And in our demo product, we actually used some red foil. But you don't have to do that. You can use some cardstock or some pattern paper. It's totally up to you. We're going to put glue on this piece here. And it only goes on one way. So just make sure that you got the little score line here in the right place and that it is flush with the edge here. That's how you know you got it in the right place. And then just move it over on this side here and glue this piece down. Okay, should be nice and flush there. And we're going to repeat the same process with this other one here. So we've got that, and then we also have this little piece here that is going to work its way on the bottom, and there are a series of score lines on this piece here as well. Okay, and they're kind of scored at a bit of an angle, and they're going to go on just like so. Okay, so make sure you get enough glue on there, wrap that around, get it glued down. Okay, so I'm not going to actually glue that just yet. At this point, we can go ahead and assemble this heart. Now we have some silver foil here. Okay, so that is going to be the base layer. So it looks like we've actually pop dotted this heart onto the face of the vase, and the other parts of it kind of go together like this. You've got this piece here, this white piece, and then this red piece. So you're going to glue all those together. And then finally, we can go ahead and put glue on the back of this. Get out to the edge. Be generous on there. This is so thick that even if you do glob it on, chances are it won't warp. I still think less is more. And just do your best to center that on there. There you go. Okay, and we also have these smaller hearts. Okay, now I have 4 of them here because we have 2 of these, one for the front and one for the back. And this heart is going to get glued here, and then the smaller heart is going to get glued here. So you can do that twice. And then of course, like I said, we actually pop dotted that right on there. You can glue it or pop dot it to give it some extra dimension. And that really takes care of the vase itself. Okay, so we have the structure of the vase put together. I've got this heart on here, okay? And as I mentioned, there's a little heart that goes here, a little heart that goes there. Now what we can do is take our glue, and as I mentioned earlier, there are some score lines on this decorative panel that goes on the base that will help you position your glue and then ultimately glue down the actual structure. Okay, so it really doesn't matter which way you do it because both sides are the same, but just try to get it within that area there. Okay, and you want to definitely push and hold that down until it gets a good grip, and just make sure that you are properly lined up. All right, so we already went over the assembly of all these hearts. Okay, so you just get all those hearts assembled. This is the main center heart, and again, the little notches that you see in this heart will not be in yours. Yours will have 2 little half circle notches in the middle that actually will make gripping and holding your gift card much easier. So what you're going to want to do is you want to get these 2 pieces glued together, one for the front, one for the back. Here is our hibachi skewer, and when Ron was putting this together, he actually would take and put the skewer in first, okay? And you don't need to put it all the way up. You can just kind of give it about that much room. They don't need to go all the way up. And just put a little bit of glue. I'm going to put it on the actual skewer so that it's very precise and targeted, okay? And I'm just going to flip it over, push it down into place, and leave it there. Try to get it nice and centered too, so that when you shove it in there, it's nice and balanced. And then we'll also put some glue on top of the skewer here. And then we're going to put glue on the rest of the heart. Kind of hold that in place while we put glue on it. Do your best to get it out to the edge without going too far. There's always a little fine line that you got to walk with that so you don't make a mess when you eventually push this stuff down. Okay, so that's probably pretty good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to line these up as best as possible, and then keep that stick in place and just push down. Might need to kind of jiggle this around a little bit just to make sure you've got everything in place, and apply pressure onto the actual skewer itself as well as the area around it. There is our heart on the skewer, and look at that. You know, as far as this 1/8 inch wire ribbon goes, what he did was kind of wrap it around on top once or twice just to get that initial grip. And then, so you'll want to put some tape on here just to kind of hold this in place. And then let me bring this ribbon over to this side, and you can literally just twist it and just work your way down the skewer. Do your best to make it even, but if it's not the end of the world. It's still going to look really cool. And then when you get towards the bottom, actually don't go all the way down to the bottom. Leave just a little bit of room, and then just wrap it a few more times, and then cut it right about there. And then you can also add another piece of tape just to kind of keep that in place. And you're going to repeat this process for all these hearts. Okay, and once you've got that, you can go ahead and start positioning them in the actual base, or in the actual vase, I should say, like so. Okay, and just take a look at the photo on the website to get an idea on how to arrange them. And then, of course, you can fill it with the crinkle paper or whatever you want to put in there to kind of spice it up. And one other thing that he also did was he took some of this same ribbon and created little bows just right underneath the tip of the bottom of the heart. So you can do that as well, or you can do whatever you want to really embellish these to your heart's content.